There are two neighborhoods that I'm familiar with that earned the moniker Black Wall Street, which were both destroyed by two separate mechanisms that shared a similar end. I want to use the historical context of Black Wall Street to explain some of the challenges we're facing here in Chattanooga. I'm going to use Main Street here to illustrate that. Now, before I get into those two mechanisms in the story of Black Wall Street, we need to understand the difference between a street and a road. The objective of a street is to generate wealth for a nearby community. Cultural wealth, social wealth, as well as capital wealth. When you look at the Greenwood neighborhood in Oklahoma, at its center was a street generating wealth for its community. While what I'm about to say might seem abnormal, that is to say, we always think of a town as having one downtown, one central town center. It was very common for neighborhoods to have their own sort of little downtown, which residents would frequent more than the downtown itself. So in Chattanooga, Highland Park had Macaulay Avenue, Ridgedale had Main and Dodds, and East Chattanooga had Glass Street. All of these are examples of streets, wealth-generating places that serve the nearby community. Now keep that in the back of your head while we talk about a road. A road connects two places effectively. With a street, you want lots of shops and lots of little things along the way. Traffic slowed down, you want people out and about on their feet. It's a destination at which to arrive at. A road, on the other hand, in order to be an effective thoroughfare, can't have a lot of entrance frequencies or businesses bumping up against it. Effective roads in America are essentially highways and interstates. Now, there is a third thing, which will be important later, which is what some people colloquially call a strode. It's neither a street nor a road. In Chattanooga, this is Brainerd, this is Hickson, this is the other half of Main Street I'm going to show you. They're some of the worst places for traffic. They're unsafe, undesirable, and they don't generate a lot of wealth. Now, the most well-known Black Wall Street was Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was destroyed in the Tulsa Massacre in 1920. And part of what made this so evil is that it effectively destroyed the wealth-creating mechanism that that community had. So on top of the violence and destruction, we were able to weaponize terror to take away the regenerative properties of a street. They destroyed the wealth-creating aspect of that area. Now let's go to the second Black Wall Street. This is the Haiti district in Durham, North Carolina, which wasn't destroyed quickly and overnight in a riot or a massacre, but slowly over time being degraded by highways and roadway expansions through their community. So in Chattanooga, Main is far from a perfect street. But the Main Street I'm on right now isn't the Main Street that was here 15 years ago. In fact, around the same time that they decided to increase housing in this area through stipends for government employees, they narrowed Main Street from 4 lanes to 2. Like, this is what it used to look like outside of Velo just in 2007. This seems counterintuitive, to reduce the amount of traffic a road can handle while simultaneously trying to increase the traffic by making people live nearby. But the purpose of Main Street isn't a thoroughfare. It's not a road, it's a street. So when they reduced the lanes of traffic and increased nearby housing, they actually made Main Street more valuable. But if you go on down the road where it's still 4 lanes, you'll see a lot of empty and undeveloped land in the process of getting developed. In the next year or two, this road is going to be reduced from 4 to possibly 3 lanes, and additional development in that area will increase the reinvestment in Ridgedale and Highland Park. Here's where we have both an opportunity and a challenge. Reinvestment is almost always coupled with displacement. Reinvestment plus displacement is usually what is meant by gentrification. One of the reasons, however, that we have displacement in the first place is that we've created barriers for reinvestment that are so high that the investment is held off until it's so big that only big developers can do it. Instead, we should lean into an incremental development approach. Unlock tools that allow homeowners and legacy neighbors who have been in the neighborhood the ability to build small one-off apartments, turn their house into a duplex, and experience the next increment in development. The second thing we need to do is start looking at how we can connect communities to opportunity. Ridgedale doesn't look like this anymore. Main Street should have bike facilities that make it easier for people who can't choose to drive a car connect to opportunities downtown. And lastly, we need to recognize what got us here will not get us there. Chattanooga had a major overhaul of its downtown and experienced a lot of success that we're renowned for. And our downtown should continue to be developed primarily to bring people in that actually live there. But at this point, it's no longer, in my opinion, should be the main focal point. Instead, we should be looking at how we can make neighborhoods come alive through replication, where they can essentially have their own downtowns, which will bring access and community to the people in those areas. The longer we fight reinvestment, the harder it will be to curb displacement. However, we should look at the next 4 years as a huge transitionary period where we recognize what got us here will not get us there, and what gets us there might not be the overall choice we use in the far future. And centered around this, I have two interesting announcements that I'm not quite ready to mention today, but that go along with both of these things.